Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and as we go into the weekend, I want to show you link to my sponsor, Private Equity. Look what they've got on the board: Axiom Space, Samba Nova, that's an AI company. They've got Cerebrus's AI, iTrustCapital, you're well aware of. Link to, I'm just showing you a couple of them that I'm familiar with: Ripple, PolySign, Uphold, Glint, Ledger. These guys have so many different issues where you can really diversify. So check it out. And also check this out. For those of you that have never seen this, you're looking at Ripple's ODL live around the globe. And I saw somebody put out a video of this, and I was struck by how wild it was going. And it was like, it's not normally like this. I mean, it's like a lot slower than this, but it just looks like things are really ramping up. Pretty exciting to just sit here and watch it, actually. Coins Kid, after the pullback, XRP $1.53 is my next target, providing we see yesterday's low held over the next few weeks. No one believed we would hit 82 cents and come in for the retrace when it was trading at 30 cents, and it did. All about support going forward. We shall see. Here's an interesting video about the BRICS. Listen to this.
How many people know about the Belt Road Initiative? That's something that really caught my attention in late 2019, early 2020, largely because every OPEC producing country is on the Belt Road. The Belt Road is the largest infrastructure project in human history, and it is connecting Asia, Africa, South America, and parts of Europe. It's very ambitious project that right now encompasses 75% of human population and 50% of global GDP. It is no small feat whatsoever, and most of it is settling on the Chinese digital yuan. Call it a 4-year beta test, if you will, on the digital yuan, which has done north of 40 billion in transactions. But what I really took away from it were all of these countries joining together in this ambitious infrastructure project, which really, to me, it speaks to commodities and the transportation of them. And the U.S. and the West is not part of it. And the rise of the digital yuan, where in essence you're indoctrinating 75% of human population into another settlement currency, and that really caught my attention quite a bit. Well, 2021, things really got very, very, very interesting. And in 2021, the central banks are continuing to buy gold. All of these relationships are being made amongst the BRICS nations and all of their unilateral deals that are going on where they're no longer settling in dollars.
Isn't it interesting times we live in? Here's another one. I can't remember if I've shown this on this channel or not, but this is the Bank of America CEO. XRP equals water, the last mile. Now, many of you won't remember, but I can't remember who it was, but someone, when they were at Ripple Swell in London, said something about Bank of America waiting on the sidelines to jump in once the XRP lawsuit was finished. We haven't seen any announcements yet, but I guarantee you this: I'll be owning Ripple Equity, Ripple Private Equity, and XRP in the coming weeks and months.
Digital movement of money. 1/2 of the money moved by consumers today at Bank of America today is moved digitally. 1/2. This is not something new. When you get to an anonymous currency, that's a different question. And that's a policy question of whether we want an anonymous currency out there of size and scale and scope. And that's what you start to see people struggle.
Do you think we do? Do you think we want it?
I don't think you want it. I think the reason why the $100 bill was the largest denomination of bills was to make money more difficult to move other than through a verifiable system. And I think that is a lesson a lot of economies have learned over time as they brought their denominations down to improve the transparency of the economy, the ability to track it, the ability to find the money, the ability to have it come through in that huge AML and KYC work we do and the industry does. And it helps you find all kinds of interesting things, and that's important for law enforcement and other types of things. So I think that's not the speculation. I'll let other people reflect on it. You're seeing great debates on it, but I think the idea of digitizing money is not new. The wire system is a digital transfer system. The ACH system. The question is, what's exciting is when you can walk around Bryant Park out here and go in these little shops that are set up for Christmas and be able to tap your phone or something like that, as opposed to being carrying dollars. Those are exciting things. To get that last mile electronified. That's what to have you and I exchange money if we had lunch together through Zelle. That's exciting. That takes the cash, because in the end of the day, of the $53 billion expenses, odd round numbers we'll have next year, 5 of it will be to move coin, currency, and checks around the system. And if I can take that down in a safe, verifiable ability to do it, know your customer in AML, take that down. That's a very valuable thing for us, and then you just ripple that through the industry. And we used to
ripple that through the industry.
We could ask them to destroy every. We could pay them to reprint the money, rather than have to cycle it back in and out, because it was cheaper to move it around. Now, some of our contracting parties that move it around for us might not be happy with it.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen. And then this guy gives some great advice, in my opinion. This is the same guy that was in this video. It's Andy, what's his name? Shackman, I think it's the same guy.
Do you have for people to protect their money? Okay, their hard-earned money, because right now it's a serious situation.
On a basic level, I get out of all variable rate debt as fast as you can, because even if there is some sort of Nasara, Jasara, and I don't know that there will be on a micro level, maybe on a macro level there will be, but get out of that debt and pay yourself first every time you can. If that means, if you got $1,000 every month to spend, buy some gold, buy some silver, buy some XRP, buy some whatever it is that you think you're going to need to protect yourself. Buy some food, buy some water, get out of debt, have some supplies, be prepared, and hope to God you never need to use that preparation to protect you. And if you don't, so be it. You have food and water you can donate to a food shelf. You have gold and silver you can pass on to your children. You have a cutting-edge cryptocurrency that you bought because you understood what its possibilities are. And if you do these things with an open mind and an open eye, and you do it on your own, it's much easier to be wrong. And when you're right and you've done these things to protect yourselves, even though people around you think you're crazy.
That's right. Now, Brad Combs had this guy, the Metal Law man. I'm drawing a blank on his name. This guy said some interesting stuff.
When he was saying stuff that was accurate, he had credibility. The guy had been around for a long time. He had led the CFTC, and a long career at Goldman Sachs. And now, something's gone terribly wrong. And he's made this wild pivot to contradicting everything he'd said before. But long answer to no, there isn't any legal opinion saying Bitcoin is in the clear. It's just everybody assumes it is.
Did you hear that? I've been saying it. There is no legal. Bitcoin does not have legal clarity.
Thank you for that. And I want to be clear to people that
And I agree with what Brad Combs is about to say too.
Believe that cryptos, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and certainly XRP, in and of themselves are not securities. I just know that there's no legal decision. So I just want to be, clear.
Yeah, I don't believe that either, and I don't want anything bad for Bitcoin or Ethereum. But they don't have legal clarity. They don't have what the people at Ripple just spent over $200 million trying to get, which is legal clarity for XRP.
About that, look, I say this on my channel. I'm going to say it again today for people who watch this. The reason I bring it up is because as an XRP holder, I watched 8 years go by of the SEC do nothing when FinCEN, a government agency, said that XRP was a virtual currency, and 8 years went by before the regulator actually took action against Ripple for XRP, saying, no, we got it wrong. It is a security. And in that interim, they approved a partnership with MoneyGram and allowed that to happen and actually blessed that to happen, knowing XRP was going to be used. I can't help but feel like these things were like, it's a whole nother conversation in a video, and I know a lot of lawyers don't like to speculate. So let's go to.
Well, Brad, just real quickly.
Yes.
The word currency means something.
Damn right.
It means it can be used. It means a number of things, but it means it says it can be used as a means of exchange for some other value, to buy a product or service. It cannot be a security if that's true, because, the security's got to be registered, and you can't go buy coffee with a security. These two things are inherently inconsistent. And so when the experts in the United States say it's a currency, that does mean it is not a security. And so it was not irrational for anyone involved at Ripple to say, oh, great, confirms what we already knew. This is not a security. It's a
Exactly. They're trying to make us think we're all crazy out here, and we're not. And here's another clip that Riz XRP put out. I don't know if there's any overlap. If there is, I'll try to stop it.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I said this from the very first time you asked me on the show. Never met John Deaton, but I just saw what he was doing, and I looked into it, read his briefs, read what he was doing. It's like, this is a radical approach that I believe will be very impactful for judges, because judges are trained and conditioned to believe the SEC actually is in there to defend, the public, to speak for the public and the investing public in the capital markets. And when you have someone come in and say, not so fast, here are tens of thousands who want nothing more than the SEC to just please stop. This comes as a shock to judges, I can assure you, regardless of whether Judge Torres permitted intervention or being an amicus, doesn't matter. None of that matters. What matters was the message. Guess what, Your Honor?
Yes, and we did send a message, the message.
I could have them all here in the courtroom, 80,000 of them. Joking, obviously, but so it was powerful. It had not been done before in any noteworthy way that I had ever heard of. And so now it's become very common to have amicus. So it's a message to the parties in litigation, as well as people in the ecosystem, in the industry, saying, this case impacts us. Our voice should be heard. And it's unusual for amicus to come in on a motion to dismiss, which has happened in Coinbase. That happened in the summary judgment phase in Ripple. But now they're coming in earlier and earlier at the very beginning, which I think is great. And so all of these industry associations coming in and explaining, the bigger picture here and the significance of a ruling has impact. And people, on Twitter, elsewhere are like, does this really have any impact? Yes, it does have impact. And I'll tell you what has really super duper impact is when a sitting U.S. senator comes in and says, we here in Congress did not grant the SEC the authority they claim in this case. This needs to.
If you're listening to my voice and you're in the XRP community and you were there while we uncovered ETHgate, we all changed the game. And all these people that are doing it now, they just followed our lead. So pat yourself on the back. It's a Lehman moment time again. InvestorSphere China's Lehman moment is looming, and they're referring to Evergrande. And this is from 2021. Evergrande and China's looming risk to Tether. I don't know if there's a looming risk, but I do know that was going around in 2021. Elnor Tarrant, no grayscale decision. So next up will be SEC filing its motion to leave to file an interlocutory appeal. In Ripple case, Judge Torres has ordered them to file by the end of today. So today is the day. That's a thumbnail, folks. Today is the day for them to file it. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that tomorrow is the Digital Asset Investors Fantasy Football Draft Day. If you want to send me an email and give me any tips, here's what I need to know. And it's digitalassetinvestor2018@gmail. Just do me a simple favor. Who is my first pick? First pick. I'm going to start the draft with Patrick Mahomes is my quarterback, Kansas City's quarterback. That's where I start. Who is my first pick? I want to see how many people will send me an email and tell me who my first pick. Does it need to be Travis? How do you say his last name? Kelce. He's the tight end for KC. Who does my first pick need to be? That's what I need to know, because I'm going to take somebody's advice that I've never done this before. Whoever emails me, if it makes sense with what I'm thinking, I'm going to take your advice. Thanks for listening.